Well, I'm back, and this is just 5 tips to help you fight the power. Um, and when I say fight the power, I mean, you know, net neutrality getting you down, people doing shady things. EA got their foot in your back. Well, I'm here to help you, to give you 5 tips to help you fight the power. So without much ado, let's get down to it. All right, so here we go with tip number 5. Now, the first 2 tips, 5 and 4, are pretty much devoted to, what you can do, where you're kind of over a barrel, you have to do what you have to do, blah, 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 yakety smackety. So, here's tip number 5. So, for those of you, this goes towards people with the whole, Elder Scrolls thing. Oh man, I really want to play Elder Scrolls, blah blah blah, or not Elder Scrolls. I really want to play, Battlefront 2 or whatever. But you're not keen with the whole, microtransactions, loot box thing. So the first tip you can do is, if you absolutely have to play this game, don't get it day one. If the game comes out in November, get it in February or March. Give it 5-6 months. Hell, even go far enough to April or even May. Don't go day one. The reason why is because these businesses are concerned about making money first. They don't care about making a solid game or making a healthy gaming market. They want to make money at the expense of everything else. So, how do you fight against this? Well, you don't give them your money easily or right away. So, essentially, what I'm saying is, you don't buy things day one. All right. If you gotta have it, don't get it day one. Wait a little bit. Give it a little bit extra time. Go do something else for a little bit. So, because the market is saturated with good time-wasting games. You don't need to spend hours and hours and hours, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on shit. You don't need it. So, with that being said, let's move on to tip number 4. This is a tip with how to deal with. This tip will be going over, the whole net neutrality thing. So, recently people have been losing their shit about the Title II categorization of internet connections, of the internet. I'm not saying don't be worried. I'm just saying there's still tools available to us as consumers and gamers, and as people who utilize this infrastructural service. So basically, here's what you need to do. Really read the fine print of what your ISP is providing you. If they're doing something shady, report it. And call your congressman, call your senator, and tell them that you want this taken care of. The reason why is because I know some people will say, well, the industry will regulate itself. That's bullshit. Anyone who tells you that and says it with a straight face is either getting high or doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because almost 90% of the industries that regulate themselves aren't necessarily industries that are regulating things in favor of consumers. Okay? They bury shit. As they do everything to protect themselves at the expense of everything else. So keep that in mind, okay? So, everything that has some type of cadence that affects a large swath of people needs some type of oversight. And I don't mean commercial. Because basically, like I said, when institutions, whether they be commercial or private or governmental, don't have oversight, something wrong, okay? There needs to be oversight for these things. So with that being said, what you can do is, like I said, be aware of what your ISP service agreement is. Know what you're paying for. Know what you should be getting for what you're paying for versus what you are getting. Be aware of these things. Contact your local congressman. It's very easy to find out. You can go on Google and say, who's my local congressman? Put in your zip code and it'll tell you. It'll give you a link to their offices. Call them, let them know that you mean business. Send them an email so you actually have physical evidence of this. Or even, I know this is really old-fashioned, a letter. Do the same to your senator. These things will essentially get your point across, and really be prepared to vote on it. Let people know. Get your friends involved with it. Say, well, this is why this is important, because if these people aren't doing what you want to do, vote their asses out. Pretty damn simple. That being said, let's move on to tip number 3. Where we start to get into from the, well, you got to deal with what you got to deal with, to fuck these guys stage after the cut. So, this is the last 3 tips, the fuck you, it's time to kick a dude in his nuts tips, are basically about how to affect industrial, governmental, any type of change, really. And the first of these 3 steps, leading from the least to the greatest, but they're all connected, so it's really like a bridge, if you will, is you're going to have to hold people accountable. What this means is hold people accountable, okay? You're not going to get everything you want. That's just life. But you want people to do basic things they should be able to do. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to hold people accountable. So, if, and this is industrial, let's say you go to a store and they're, a grocery store, and their produce department, the produce always looks like shit. Hold people accountable. Talk to the manager. Talk to the produce manager. Talk to someone who has some type of responsibility. Say, this is a damn shame. Look at this produce. It looks like it fell off the back of the truck and got run over by several cars. This is not right. If the freezer section, the food is always like about to go bad. The meat never is on point. The meat's making people sick. This type of stuff you got to talk about. You got to hold people accountable for. Which leads to tip number 2, which is be prepared to escalate. So here we go with tip number 2, escalation, as I like to call it. This is where you take things up a notch. Find people who are in the same boat as you, who have had similar experiences, negative experiences, or similar bad service experiences. Get them together. Be very easy. And take your complaints, your issues to a higher level. So, the general manager's not listening or it's not getting better, take it up to the next level. Because, sometimes they'll bury things. They'll hide things. They'll ignore things. But if you take it up to a higher level, with records of you doing this, shit just got real. Okay? This is a great way to get things done. I've done this before, you know, I've done community organization. I've got things taken care of, you know, so it works. People forget that ultimately they hold the power, and, industries need to understand that they don't hold the power, we do as consumers. And if you're talking about government, taxpayers, we hold the power and we need to exorcise it. And the greatest way to exercise our powers, at least industrially, is through tip number 1, which is going to be the doozy. And I'm going to use EA as an example. So let's get to tip number 1 after the cut. Okay then, so here we go with the final tip, and this one is going to be a very important one, and it is, how to basically leverage your power into a useful way of effecting meaningful change. The best way to deal with this, in my opinion, commercially, and this is a great example, is with EA's Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2. And a lot of people have really started with this because this game is selling over 50% less than what it was with the first game. Typically sequels do better, not worse. And I don't think the sales are gonna go up much higher, because most of these games do their biggest sales in the first month or so. And after that, it's all downhill. So yeah. People have started to get the hint. Don't buy this game. Don't buy the service. Don't participate. Period. Don't get it. Don't spend your money on it. And this leads back to tip number 5. If you're going to buy it, don't get it day one. Wait 6 months. Believe me, the price will go down. There'll be a sale, a sell. That being said. Why is this important? Well, see, right now you've got EA on the ropes because they're losing money. So now, while they're bleeding out on the ground, because money is the lifeblood of business, right? The flow of money, the generation of money, money going out, coming in, that's the lifeblood of any business. But here's the secret, okay? Right? If you can hurt a company's financial flow, that will change things faster than petitions, signing things, complaining. Don't buy the product. Okay? Don't buy the product. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't give them a damn dime. I didn't buy the first Battlefront, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. You'll never meet a bigger Star Wars fan than me. Or used to be, but I'm not getting into that right now. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but you know what? I'm not buying, I didn't get Battlefront. I'm a huge BioWare fan, but I bought Mass Effect Andromeda for like $30. And I felt mad because a month later it was $20 on sale. Like if I could have spent less for that game. So my thing is that people need to stop spending so goddamn much. Stop buying things day one. Wait a little bit. Wait for the price to go down. Because, the price is going to go down. It's going to get cheaper. There's no reason to spend an arm and a leg on shit that's going to be like literally 50% cheaper in 3 or 4 months. It's gonna if the game is $60, it's gonna drop down to 40 after a while, then 20, then 30, then 20, and then by 8-9 months in, it's like $20-$30. Okay, believe me. Wait for a sale. You don't have to have shit day one. Okay. In regards to the whole politics thing, vote. Actually talk about why you voted a certain way, why you supported one candidate over the other. Actually talk about, and the same thing with commercially. Tell people why you won't buy EA stuff. Like, I'm not shy about it. I don't buy EA stuff because I don't like how they do business. I mean, you know, if there was a wrong way to run a business, well, EA would be the fucking poster child for it, because they run. If I ran my business like I ran EA, I'd be out of business. Okay? Because my customers wouldn't take it, but my customers are far more savvy than I think a lot of the people who buy EA products are. So with that being said, that's the end. I'll go over upcoming events and such after the cut. Alright then, so the overall conclusion is this. Basically, you have to be involved. You can't be like a sheep and just follow the crowd, or just kind of ignore things because it doesn't affect you. Because even minute things can affect you. Alright? I know this sounds like a cliche, but yes, a butterfly flapping its wing across the world can eventually affect the wind blowing halfway across the world. Not literally, but figuratively speaking. Small, minute changes can lead to bigger changes. So you have to basically be very much aware of what's going on around you. And these are just some tips on how to deal with that, how to defend yourselves and actually, you know, curtail or promote these changes. We will not be having a Sci-Fi Power Hour this week or a BS Busters, although maybe, knock on wood, I might do a BS Busters type thing with Dr. Feelgood this Friday, no, this Sunday. So instead of doing my own BS Busters, I'll just join Dr. Feelgood's. I'm seeing right now if we can get in touch and I can join his thing. Because, I mean, you know, I want to do something this week, but I don't want to do, I don't want to try and, like, schedule it over his thing and all that stuff. So hopefully we can join forces and it'll all be awesome. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. Enjoy. It's not going to be going farther than this. Give me your thoughts, opinions, ideas. I will be doing an end-of-year cast before New Year's Eve. Here, let me check my schedule, if you will. Yes, I will be doing an end-of-year cast New Year's Eve. Actually, the 30th. That Saturday before New Year's Eve. So look for that. You know, it's going to be a sci-fi power hour / BS Busters hoedown, if you will. Just because I just thought it'd be cooler to do that than trying to, you know, smash all that shit together. So enjoy the rest of the video. Have a good day. Enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you have any, if this is just a little recommendation, if you want to see a great Christmas movie, Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Great film, enjoy it. Gladys Knight does the opening theme song for it. It's really good. And peace.